for the job market. Now that I'm applying for jobs, I appreciate that a lot. And there's more flexibility if you're comparing global health concentrations. There's more flexibility in DME to have more elective credits. So you can choose different skills, or if you want to take some topical ones that suit your interests. And then I know that I've had several friends that have transferred between concentrations once starting the MPH at GW, and that has been a very easy process if you do it in your first semester. If you do it farther down the line, then it gets more complicated because you've already gotten into your concentration-specific courses, and that can be difficult if they aren't overlapping with what you want to get into. But if you do it your first semester, you just have to write a little paragraph about why you're interested in it, and the paperwork goes through. So that should be relatively easy.
And also, if you are in DME, you can choose different classes from different major as your elective course, so that you can get a little taste of what each profession looks like.
That's actually what I did. So I started off in health policy, and I ended up switching over to EPI because I thought, just in terms of like my own interest, I really liked coding, so I ended up going that route. I went for the application portion. They were like, oh yeah, sure, you can totally do it. I filled out like one form, and then I got a new advisor, and the rest is history. So if you would like to transfer, once you end up getting to the school, if you find other interests, it's pretty flexible. And to go back to Mandy's point, whatever classes you end up taking that are outside of the kind of outside of the program still count towards your electives for the actual degree. So you can use it that way.
Did that answer your question? Can we answer any other?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I guess I also have a question about practicum placement. I talked with, I think it was the director of admissions, whatever. And so I would like to work internationally, so I'd like to do a practicum internationally. How, I guess, accessible and helpful is GW with helping you find a practicum, especially because I know you guys are in DC, so there's obviously many international organizations. And how do they help you build your connection with that?
First, you can speak about your request to our career center, and I think they will have a list of opportunity abroad the U.S. that you can apply it to. But first, you have to talk with the advisor, like when is the best time for you to do your practicum.
I will say, so for international practicums, one specifically that are based, abroad, they just recently opened that up more so. It had been somewhat closed off for COVID. And so now it is more open, it is more available, is what I'm saying. And so that's something that is more readily able to look into. GW has a practicum job board, and so you can look at different opportunities on that. But in my experience, there is not a lot of hand holding at GW, and so you got to go and find something for yourself if you really want it to work out, which is perfectly fine because we're all adults, and we are capable of doing that. But that's just something to note. There's no one's going to say, here is a practicum for you. You have to go and look for it. And like you mentioned, there are so many great international based organizations in DC, or based in DC, I should say. And so that there are tons of opportunities to connect with those as well.
Yeah, so if you choose to come to GW, you will have to be actively engaged to find your opportunity and resources that GW has to offer.
Thank you.
Anything else we can discuss generally that would be helpful?
I guess living too. Where do a lot of grad students usually live at? I joined a little late, so I don't know if you guys discussed this. So.
Oh yeah, so some people will find housing near campus, but that's more expensive than most people would choose to live in Virginia and Maryland. Like me, I live in Pentagon City, which it takes like 10 minutes to commute from Pentagon City to GW. And then also the price is expensive, but you will have a more comfortable living space. So I think it's worth it. And if you want to find a housing in DMV, you will have to be quick because the housing rate change all the time, and it has a different housing rate day by day. So you will have to, once you get the interest one, you will have to send out your application as quick as possible to get the best rate.
That is an excellent point. I would like to once again emphasize that she is totally correct, and you definitely should look into that. Another thing I would add is I do think DC, if you would like to stay in the DC area, honestly, moving to Virginia would be a faster commute. But if you do like the vibe of the city and stuff, there are a couple of neighborhoods that you can live in here. A ton of people live in Columbia Heights, which is, I would say, maybe like a 30, 40-minute train ride out. I live in Shaw, and I love it here. And I'm like near like 14th Street, U Street, all the big places that are in DC. So it's possible. You could. The one good thing about DC that I would add is that there are a ton of people who come here that are very young and are in their 20s and are looking for like 10 roommates. So if you guys want that kind of life, like I do, I literally have 5 roommates. It's totally feasible to bring that rent money down.
I will add, there are quite a few people in Arlington. I'm in Arlington. And someone asked here, is it possible to commute from further out in Northern Virginia to DC? Absolutely. I commute from Clarendon, which is not too far. But I have friends who live out in Vienna, or even, out in Tysons, or just farther on the metro line. That's something, if you're not familiar with DC, we have a great metro system. Everyone uses it. It's relatively efficient. It's getting better, at least than what it was a year and a half ago. But so it's something that's really great to have. There's a stop right on campus that's a couple-minute walk from the Milken Institute School of Public Health. And so I would say if you're looking to commute, look at where the places you're looking at, places to live, look at how close they are to the metro line. The train line is a little bit easier than the bus routes. Sometimes those are less consistent, I should say. And so if you're looking into a farther commute from Northern Virginia, think about, is it on a metro line? Or could you drive reasonably to the metro and then get on the metro? Because you're probably not going to want to drive into Foggy Bottom and then pay $30 to park for a couple hours. So just think about that.
And also, we are free to use the metro because we have a dual card, which you pay $100 a semester, and you get free to use metro and the bus system throughout DMV area. So if you are looking for a great living place, I would recommend Arlington and Maryland. Yeah.
So I'm from the Midwest. So do you guys recommend like having a car on campus, or is that not something that's like really feasible?
No, for me, it's totally unneeded because in DC, it's really convenient. Like many local people, they commute by metro all the time. They don't even have a car with them.
Yes, I am also from the Midwest. I moved out here from St. Louis, and it was a completely different culture shock in terms of transportation specifically. So in St. Louis, you have to have a car. You drive everywhere, right? You don't use the metro system at all. But in DC, it's completely opposite. You use the metro primarily. I have a car as well, and I really only use it maybe once a week or randomly if I want to drive out to a farm in Virginia and do something like that, a little bit further out. But I never have to drive it into the city because the metro is so much easier. Just because of parking. I've also been towed twice in the Arlington area because I wasn't used to the DC parking vibe and scene, or DC area scene, coming out from the Midwest where you kind of just park wherever and you're fine. It's not like that here. It's very aggressive, and you pay hundreds of dollars to get your car back when it is towed.
They're known for towing, especially near the city. So I do believe GW offers parking to like like faculty members and not students, and it is quite expensive. So if you were to get a car, I do think Lindsay has a good point. You could live outside of the city limits. I heavily recommend not having a car in DC. I'm also I went to Emory for undergrad, so I was in Atlanta, which is also a very like drive kind of city. And I think that was one of the reasons why I chose GW over Emory when I was initially applying, because I was like, I need to be able to access everything for cheap, and gas here is stupid expensive.
Okay.
Gas everywhere was stupid expensive, but yeah, so.
Someone said traffic is chaos. That's true. I can attest to
Kristen,
that.
you're right. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? We're happy to answer.
I'll throw my email in the chat too. If anyone has anything that you think of, feel free to just shoot me an email. Happy to continue to connect.
You guys have like a LinkedIn so I can like connect, but like no pressure to like send it, of course.
Yeah, let me find that.
Yes.
Are you guys deciding what program you want to pursue?
Which school are you deciding in between?
Oh, you can go first.
Oh, I was just saying, I'm still an undergrad, so I'm in Ohio, so I go to Ohio State. So I was just looking into like schools, and like George Washington's like at the top of my list. I visited DC twice and just like fell in love with the city, but I mean I was just like a guest in the city, so I can't really speak on like how people live there, but yeah, I really like the school so far. I've seen.
I'm between GW, Emory, and Hopkins.
Well,
Right now, I'm just waiting on some financials to help. I got my GW financials today, but it wasn't like much, so we'll see what goes there. But just GW's a little closer to home than Emory, which is why I kind of lean that way. But I just have to make a career decision.
did you get admitted to the similar program? Like in
I got
like,
at Emory, I got into global health. For GW, I got into global health design. So it's kind of, but not really. But
if you're interested, there's a global health epi program at GW that I've heard is phenomenal. I don't know if you're interested in global health epi, but it's one of the main reasons why people really love the program is because they teach like, I forget what it is. It's oh my God, what is it called? It's like when you do field research, but like tactics to actually do field research from people who have done it before. So a lot of our professors are coming straight from like huge NGOs, and this is their cute little retirement plan, which is quite fun to kind of see. So
is it core requirement elective?
I took it because it was like it said epi in the name, honestly, and I kind of fell into it very dumbly, but I loved the class. But the head of my class, Dr. Nwawe, was I think the head of IRB at GW, so he covered like the international IRB portion and was like talking about like IRB ethics, especially in the context of global health. And the global health epi department has like thousands of people that they have connections with all over the world. So if you decide to go to GW and you're interested in global health, 10 out of 10 recommend global health epi. Also, Kristen, for your thing, I'm super interested in environmental health science. I'm actually going into EHS plus EPI for my PhD. And one of the main reasons why I love environmental health science is because of Dr. Lapuma. He is one of the, everyone loves, literally everyone loves him. I love this man. But he is an engineer, and he teaches one of the core requirement courses, and the way that he teaches environmental health makes it seem that it's like a fixable, like optimistic issue that's just an engineering problem. And he is lovely. He will, you know, totally talk to you if you're interested in coming to the school, and he is a very big part of the program. That's his link.
I will say, yes, he's very popular. The environmental health science cohort is really close knit from what I've seen. They, like, all of our little concentrations kind of segment, and you get to know people better in those. But the environmental health people are some of the closest people I've ever seen. It's really cute and sweet that they have this almost family connection.
They're besties. I think they like bond over environment trauma. They're really besties.
Anything else?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, anything else? Any other questions? No, you're fine. I'm going to head out in a couple minutes, but yeah, feel free, send an email, message me on LinkedIn. I don't care. Anything else we can speak to while you have all three of us here? Well, it was great to meet you all and connect. Yeah, I'm excited. Hope that, you know, the rest of your journey figuring out where you'd like to go, what you want to pursue works out well. And yeah, wishing you all the best of luck with that.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
Bye.